Hey guys, what is up? It's your girl, Grace Torie, and I am back with a whole new podcast episode. Today we are talking about 26 lessons that I learned at 26, because I think this is going to come up on Monday instead of Sunday. Sunday being Easter, which is when I'm filming, because my birthday is tomorrow, which is Monday, which is when this will come up, so April 21st. I try to do this every year, and I don't know if the answers are the same or different, but I feel like it's really important to just go through all the lessons and see, where we're at, what I've learned. A lot of things have changed this year, socially as well as like financially, and I'm just in a totally different place in life than I was a year ago. So I'm really excited to share what I've learned and hopefully help you along with your journey. My puppy is joining me today, so if you are watching, this is my Evie girl, my bestie, but she'll be probably in and out. I'm sure she'll get bored. Before I jump in, don't forget to like, follow, subscribe, rate, review, all the things. It's free, it takes about 0.2 seconds, and really helps out the podcast. So, yeah, without further ado, let's jump on in. I'm Grace Torie, and you're listening to That Girl, the podcast. Grab a beverage of choice and settle in, because the new episode is starting now. The very first lesson that I am going to be talking about is over-communicating. I would rather over-communicate than under-communicate, and I think that most problems can be solved with other people, like interpersonally, by having a mature conversation. Not screaming at each other, not coming from an emotional place. You can, but don't let it be the only place you come from. Have some logic in there and see some things through other people's point of view. But if you're having a problem, conflict management, like the biggest thing is to over-communicate. If you're unsure, over-communicate. Don't ever not communicate something because you feel like I shouldn't for XYZ reason. Communicate. Number 2 is setting boundaries is not being mean, whether that's with work, whether that's with friends, whether that's turning on the do not disturb on your phone. You're not being mean. You are actually being kind because you are communicating where you are mentally so that they can better show up for you and vice versa, as well as being kind to yourself. Number 3 is know what you deserve. For example, if you are in a job that you know you're not getting paid enough, or you are in a relationship where you know that you deserve better, know what you deserve and stop messing around. Get what you deserve. Make that move. Number 4, ignore the noise and do what feels right. There's going to be a lot of people that try and tell you you shouldn't do something or that you should or whatever. It's going to be really loud, especially when you're making big decisions. And just ignore it. Do what feels right to you because your gut feeling is right. I promise you. Number 5 is focus on the good. Have a positive mindset versus a negative one. If you look for the good gets better. So if you're looking for those positive things, you're going to find more of them. It's all about training your brain to search for those positive things. Number 6 is it's okay to prioritize peace. I was in my grandma era this year, and I still am. I'm out here crocheting, reading books, sitting in nature alone. I'm spending a lot of Friday nights just alone with a good book, and that's what I needed this year. I think that I've had a pretty chaotic life where I've never really sat down and processed a lot of things that have happened because it's been one thing onto the next. So I took a lot of time to do that this year and just prioritize my own peace rather than jumping into more of that chaos. And it was good for me. I think that if you are at a place where you're wanting to do those things and you feel bad for whatever reason, like for me, I had that guilt of I'm so young, I should be doing crazy things. Like if what you need is peace, it's okay to prioritize that. 7, your decisions don't have to make sense to anyone, nor do you need a reason or permission to make the decisions that you make. A lot of my decisions people don't agree with because they don't get it. And I say that coming from a more traditional Bible Belt home where, all of my friends are married with kids and they have been from a young age. I have siblings that are that way. Everyone is very traditional in the sense that if they have a job, it's a 9 to 5. No one's out here doing podcasts. So, nothing I'm doing is particularly harmful, but it's not exactly the stable choice. So I get a lot of backlash saying, like, I just want to make sure that you're good, and I don't feel like this is a stable, good decision. So in the end, I just want you to know that your decisions don't have to make sense to anyone. You don't need permission to make the decisions that you're making if you're an adult. If you're not, it's a different story. But if you've got a good head on your shoulders, trust yourself and know that you don't need to explain to anybody else why you're doing the things you're doing. Number 8 is save for the future and get your finances sorted out now versus later. Learn how to budget, learn how to do a savings account, pay off your debt as soon as possible. It's not very fun, but I have been on a financial journey this year, and it makes the world of a difference, not just in my finances, but in my anxiety and how I view everything. So work on your finances now versus later. Number 9 is move in the shadows. You don't necessarily have to make a TikTok or an Instagram story or a Snapchat story every time you have a new idea. Move in the shadows, because the more you tell people, the more they're going to have an opinion on, and you just don't need that. So move in the shadows, do your thing, and don't do it for the approval of others, but also don't do it for, someone else to throw an opinion on. You just don't need to. It's not necessary. I felt like I was seeking approval for so long, and I still am, but I'm at a place now where I have a little bit more grace with myself, where I'm trying to move in the shadows more. 10, find calm in the storm, because the storm may never go away. Remember how I mentioned that I have been in chaos most of my life, and it's just one thing after the other? That's true. And even though there's still a lot of chaos going on in my life, I have chosen to set boundaries to minimize it. But it's still there. And I think that finding those moments of peace for me has been my calm in the storm. And I want you to feel that way as well. Find that thing that gives you calm in the craziness, because you don't know if that craziness will ever go away. It might not. 11, you're not perfect and neither is anyone else, so know when to give grace to yourself and to others. I hold some of the people in my life to a really high standard, and I think it's because a lot of the people in my life are really high achievers. I am a big believer in the 5 closest people to you are the product of you, like you become the 5 closest people to you. So a lot of the people in my life have high standards for themselves, and I also have high standards for them. And I found that I was being unfair. Like, example, Josh wasn't doing anything wrong, but he would leave laundry on the floor. And I remember I was ranting to my mom on the phone, and I was like, he just keeps leaving his laundry on the floor. It's driving me insane. Why can't you just put it in the laundry basket? Da, 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 da. And my mom's like, Grace, this is the only thing you've been upset with him about all week. This is the only thing he's quote unquote done wrong. Like, maybe you just need to reevaluate, because that's really not a big deal in the grand scheme of things. I do have OCD, so that's why it became a big deal to me. But it kind of gave me a new mindset of, yeah, maybe I am being really hard on him, and I am holding him to a really high standard, but he's also doing all of these things that may take away from his time. He may be stressed, he may have his mind on other things, and this is really the only thing that is bothering me. I need to show some grace. So know when to show grace for yourself and for others. Number 12, know when to ask for help. Whether you are spiraling and you need to seek out medical help, whether you are struggling at work and you need to ask for help from a superior or a peer, whether you need to ask your friends for help, your family for help, financially, those are times when you just need to know when to ask for help. I have a really hard time asking for help. It's so hard for me, and it honestly runs in my family. So knowing when to ask and getting myself to ask is hard for me. So know when to ask. 13, accept that you may be the problem, whether it's in your health, in your relationships, etc. I was the problem in my money problems. I was spending too much on silly, goofy things instead of saving. I was the problem with my health because I wasn't eating right. And then I was like, oh my gosh, why is my mental health so bad? Why is my physical health so bad? Because I was eating fast food every day. I have been the problem with my relationship. For example, the example I mentioned where he was leaving his laundry on the ground. Like, that was causing a lot of fights and strain on our relationship when it was like a itty bitty little thing that I maybe should have not overreacted about. So know when you're going to be the problem, accept that, and be willing to make the inner work happen. Number 14, pivoting. If you're going to be a problem, might as well be a loud one. And I don't mean in your relationships, in your friendships, in the things that actually matter. What I mean is, I have been a quote-unquote problem to society for a long time. Oh my god, I sound so silly. I know I sound cringe. I feel like society has put a lot of pressure on me and on women to make the decision to be a homemaker or to be in a job, and if you are a CEO, you can't also be a poet who's delicate and kind and soft. If you are a homemaker, you can't have a job. You can't do both. There is no duality in society for women. People either want you to be a badass bitch who works like full time and has $1 million, or they want you to be like a soft homemaker who doesn't speak unless spoken to and is very, very quiet and fragile and delicate, and there's no in between. And I want to fall in between. I want to be a CEO. I want to be a poet. I want to have kids. I want to be a homemaker. I want to be a millionaire. I want to be kind while also putting my foot down. That is so hard to explain to people who think that you should be one thing and one thing only. And so I have felt the pressure of being a problem that a lot of people need to solve. Like, a lot of people in my life view me as a societal problem that they need to talk some sense into. And instead of saying, maybe they're right, I've come to the conclusion that if I'm going to be a problem, then I might as well be a loud one. I might as well become a CEO. I might as well make $1 million. I might as well be an activist for women's rights. I might as well have a best-selling book. Because if I'm going to be a problem, why not be a loud one? So that is so important. If you take one thing from this today, that was a big lesson I learned this year. Number 15, everything on your to-do list is a fun little thing if you want it to be. This is part of shifting your mindset to a more positive one. I view everything as a fun little thing. Cleaning my room, fun little thing. Having writer's block and having to sit down and work through it to write a chapter, fun little thing. Filming the podcast, fun little thing. Everything is a fun little thing, whether it's fun or not. Because if I tell my little ADHD, OCD brain, fun little thing, you're gonna mop the floors and then you're gonna get a fun little treat. You get to lay down and read a book, or you get to watch this episode, or we'll go to Starbucks. Whatever it is, fun little thing makes it so much more fun than, I have to mop the floors today. And it's a mindset shift. You're tricking your brain into doing fun little things. 16, be gentle with yourself. Also, it's okay to treat yourself from time to time. You need to be gentle because you're going through a lot, bestie. You're going through a lot. Whether it's physically, emotionally, politically, mentally, you got a lot on your plate. And it's okay to be gentle with yourself. It's okay to say, I'm going to take the night off and shut my brain down and watch TV. Or I'm going to turn my phone off for X amount of time. Or I'm going to stop working on this task that's driving me insane and pivot to an easier one and then come back later. Be gentle. Also, it's okay to treat yourself, meaning I have a really hard time buying things for myself that I don't see a huge cost, or I don't see a huge return on. For example, when I buy books for myself, I have no problem doing that because I see it as not only gaining knowledge, gaining research to write my best-selling books, hopefully, one day, but I also see it as these can be collector's items that I can give, or maybe they'll be worth something more later. Taylor Swift merch. This will probably grow in value versus decrease, so it's okay to buy this. Now, things like a face mask, a robe, going and buying myself food that I just want because it just sounds so yummy. I have a really hard time doing that. I know that I said I like was spending too much on silly goofy things. The silly goofy things were the things that I could rationalize buying. The things that I can't rationalize, the only like excuse that I have for it is it'll make me feel better or I would really enjoy this. I cannot do it. And so I'm learning to treat myself from time to time. We're not going to go bankrupt on ourselves, but it's okay to buy something just because it's going to give you joy or make you happy or make you more comfortable or XYZ. 17. Surprise those in your life that matter. Whether it's a gift, a text saying how much you love them and miss them, surprise visiting them, surprise people because the people in your life matter and they may be going through a hard time too. And I think that no matter who you are, you appreciate a good surprise. Whether you are like an acts of service girly or you are a gifts girly, like whatever your love language is, find out theirs and service them. Like Josh is a gift person. Like he loves getting gifts. That is his love. And then mine is quality time. So I could surprise him with a gift, and that would mean the world to him, and that would be a perfect little surprise to show him that he matters. For me, it would be maybe him coming home and saying, we're going to have a date. We're going to go on a date, and we're going to watch a movie together, or we're going to go to dinner, and we're going to talk and be present. Like, that would mean a lot to me because quality time is my love language that I accept, which works out because I express love through gifts. Like, that's a big thing for me, so works out for us. But whether their love language is one thing or the other, you can surprise them in some way, shape, or form. So surprise those in your life that matter. Your parents, your friends, your relationships in all shapes and sizes. Surprise them. 18. Tomorrow is never promised, which is a big reason why you want to surprise people, but also take everything into account when you think about tomorrow's never promised. Do the thing you've always been wanting to do. Say the thing you've always been wanting to say. Make the moves now because tomorrow's not promised. At the same time, if you are highly anxious like myself, maybe there's something tomorrow that's really stressing you out. It's kind of morbid, but for me, it calms me down when I tell myself, tomorrow's never promised, so why stress about it? Like, silly, goofy thing to tell yourself if you have anxiety, but also a motivating thing if you don't feel like it's the right time to do something. There's never the right time, so do it now because tomorrow's never promised. On that same note, 19, pursue your passions. Do it now. You don't have to quit everything and go balls to the wall. I have a full-time corporate job. While I do that, I'm also a podcaster. I also do social media. I also am writing a book. Like, my full-time job is my income that allows me to do those fun things, but I'm still pursuing my passion. So pursue your passions. Don't keep putting them off. Make it work. If you're really passionate about it, you can find a way to make it work. 20. It's okay to not have all the answers. I struggle so much with not knowing anything. Like, I go from saying I know everything to I know nothing and I'm terrified so quickly, and it's okay to not have all the answers. When you're making decisions, you're making the best decision for yourself at the time. You're probably not going to have all the answers or all the information, and that is okay. You're doing the best for yourself. 21. It's okay to take breaks. It's okay to take a couple weeks off from grinding really hard. It's okay to take the afternoon off from doing that thing that you've been working on. It's okay to take 10-minute breaks when you're working on something like cleaning your house. Like, it's okay to take breaks in any way, shape, or form. Relationship breaks, work breaks. Give yourself the rest you need because you're not helping yourself by pushing yourself when you're burnt out. You need to make sure that you are giving yourself adequate time to recharge because you can't pour from an empty cup. 22, I kind of already started on this, but rest is productive. You can't work from burnout. You're just going to make things worse. You're not going to show up as your best self. You're not going to have the best ideas. You're going to be swimming upstream and fighting to survive rather than to thrive. So rest is productive. You're being productive by resting. 23, if your mental health isn't in a good place, nothing else will be. So if your mental health is struggling, it's not going to be possible for you to be successful in every other aspect of life. You may be for the time being, but you're not going to be able to sustain that success. So work on your mental health first if it's struggling, and then everything else will get better from that. I promise you. I know you're like, no, it won't. It will. 24, it's a marathon, not a race. I really felt like I needed to rush and get things going with a lot of things in my life, like a business, or like Josh and I need to rush to get married and have kids, or like whatever it may be. But it's a marathon, not a race. Like, you're here for the long term. You're not trying to do a get-rich-quick scheme. Life is not a get-rich-quick scheme. You're not trying to do things short-term. You're planning for the long term. And when you are making big decisions like buying a house or renting a house or being in a relationship or financial, house, job, life decisions, it's a marathon, not a race. So what is going to help you long term? Should you take another night to think on something instead of making an irrational decision because you feel rushed? Absolutely, if it's a long-term decision. Because it's a marathon, not a race. If you have a bad day, you'll get there eventually. It's a marathon, not a race. You're not sprinting. You're taking your time. I mean, you still kind of run in a marathon, but I like to view it as you're still motivated, but you're not sprinting 100% without making those informed decisions. 25. Stay in your lane and pay no one else any mind. Block them out. I know that comparison is the thief of joy. I have been jealous. I have tried to keep up with the rat race of everybody else, and don't. Someone else may be a millionaire that's the same age as you, or younger than you. I've hit that point where a lot of people younger than me are doing really, really cool things, and I get in my head so much and say, why am I not there? Why am I not doing that? Why haven't I hit that level of success? And it's not okay. Like, don't do that. All you're doing is putting yourself down. Pay nobody attention. If you are starting to get really anxious, really jealous, then put your blinders on and focus on you. It's okay to applaud people. It's okay to feel a little envious. But if you're starting to feel like it's affecting you and affecting your mental health, stay in your own lane. Congratulate the people that mean most to you. Of course, be happy for them. But outside of them and showing up for them, pay nobody else any mind. Number 26, the last one on the list, is everything is about balance. So, you're going to eat healthy, but there may be days where you want a sweet little treat. You're going to make a lot of money, but there may be days where you want to spend it, even though you've been saving. You're going to, have good days and you're going to have bad days. You're going to be working really hard and then you're going to have a day where you just want to do nothing. Everything in your life is about balance, and it's not ever going to be black or white. There's going to be a whole lot of gray. Everything's a spectrum that may lean one way or the other, but it's not cut and dry. You gotta have balance. So, lean into that. Don't beat yourself up too much if you are balancing and you need to take a break, or you need to do one thing, or you need to do another thing. Like, life is not this black or white thing, so live in the gray. That is pretty much it. I hope you guys enjoyed this year's birthday episode. I hope you have a great week. I typically upload every single Sunday, so I will see you guys next Sunday. I love you so, so much, and I think that's pretty much it. Don't forget to leave a rating, a review, a like, a comment, all the things. Share with a bestie who you think would love this podcast, and I'll see you guys later. Bye, guys.